Oh, science is tweeted. But my
Um,
most sincere condolences to the British royal family and to the British
I've
people.
literally
Rest in
just started
peace.
the stream, Gary. The first thing I
It's
can
fine.
hear is you.
Oh, I'm just.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pre-stream. Um, this evening, normal service is resumed. Of course, the show must go on, but so a pre-warning: we will be holding 2 minutes silence at 8 o'clock. Obviously, in memory of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who sadly passed away earlier today. And well, I'm sure you'll join us in respecting that 2 minute silence. With that said, yeah, welcome to the pre-stream. I'm David Lowface. You guys might know I've been here a few times before, and on comms with me tonight is
That was that boy. Hello.
yeah, it's your usual Thursday team. Usual Thursday team back. Yeah, it seems like it's been a little bit of a while, Gary. I don't know. I lose track of weeks at this point.
I think we were together in Monaco. Finiesta has added me as a friend, so they can message me to join the lobby when we're up and running.
Yeah. So now, so we've got about a minute to go. I'm just going to put this up on the stream now. Yeah, so as already mentioned, yeah, sad passing of Queen Elizabeth II earlier today, and of course, personally, my thoughts go out to the family, and I'm sure the millions of people worldwide that have been touched by Her Majesty, not in a Prince Andrew way, that's a bit weird, but I know we wouldn't manage it, but yeah, we're just about to go to our minute silence, or 2 minute silence. Will start now. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that ends the 2-minute silence. Thank you all for respecting that in the chat and in the lobby. And now we're back to usual programming. So we are in Azerbaijan tonight for the tier 1 guys. And well, yeah, it's an exciting track, I'll tell you that. I'm sure Gary will agree with me. Very straight line speed heavy, but excuse me. Yeah, it's very tricky on those low wing setups through sector 2 specifically.
Yeah, it's especially I think it's especially hard trying to get the traction out, obviously with low wings, especially in this year's game. But yeah, especially out of turns 2 and I think out onto the final straight, if you mess up even 1 point, you're going to be like a sitting duck all the way down to turn 1. Turns 3 and 1 will be the main overtaking spots for tonight's race, as we saw many times last night from the tier 3s.
Yeah, and a good show it was indeed from the tier 3s. There was some shocks, there was some upsets, and yeah, I'm sure we'll have more of the same tonight. Have you watched the tier 3 race, Gary, by any chance? I think you were watching live, weren't you?
Yes, I was watching live.
So, if you're going to say anything, get it out now.
No, to be fair, I don't think I will make any funny jokes at last night.
At least not until you've raced your race, say.
No, because I know how easy it is to drop.
Yeah. Maybe not at turn 14. I did find it quite easy to drop it there. And Cruiser is definitely correct. There definitely was a few front wing changes last night. At least one from himself. 2 from me. And yeah, it's said about that the better, personally. Big hello in the chat to K Backham. Thanks for checking us out, as Ashdown has redeemed us a drink each. I wasn't going to drink tonight, but well, here's to you, Queenie. I think we're getting ready to go. Pickle wants me to get the orange juice out. I don't do anything in half measures, Mr. Pickle. Unfortunately, I don't have a bottle of sherry, otherwise tonight I would be drinking the preferred tipple of the late Queen Elizabeth. Alas, I do not. Therefore, I will have to make do with Budweiser. The baby Shampers? Does he... How rich do you think I am, Mr. Piggle? Are you dead, Gary?
No, I'm not.
You haven't spoken in a while.
No, I thought somebody was in a different car. Turns out it was changed, and I've been given a bit of attitude from somebody.
Well, at least it's not your tier.
No.
Right, so we're just loading into the lobby. We'll find out. Oh, for God's sake! Yep, we had this last night as well. The great view of when no one's out of the pit lane. Nice little green tower column. Yeah, thanks, game.
I'll wait until a car comes out and then.
Yeah, well, I might as well get my thing ready. I think we'll probably see a few drivers wearing the black helmet tonight. I think we might also see some taking a parade lap in memory. To answer your question, Mr. Pickle, why is Zilla in Tier 1? So Zilla has moved up to Tier 1 to facilitate him racing more.
To be fair, it's going to be hard for him to get adjusted to this tier. I can tell that after racing with him throughout, through tier 2 at the moment, he might do better than last season in tier 1. I think he might be up there fighting with the points a lot more this season. But we'll see how he goes. I know he was up in 2nd or 3rd behind his teammate in tier 2, which he's now left behind. We've got a car that's gone off at turn 3.
Yeah, and that is Dark Gopher. And there goes his front wing. So Lexus now, after his weaving parade lap, builds up the revs, and here he goes for the first flying lap of the session. Big hello to you in the chat, Ethan. He's on his out lap now, but nice to see you tuning in, getting that lobby information. So Lexus through turn 1 then. Fairly clean through there. And pretty much hitting the apex of turn 2. Not bad indeed so far. Now into the tricky braking zone of turn 3. You avoid the curb that's just on the right and at the braking zone, because it is a bump and it will unsettle your car and you will put it in a wall, more likely than not. So Lexus now into sector 2 and up to the infamous castle section. I think we'll do well to not see any incidents here tonight, at least no front wings exploding. And yeah, looks like Lexus has got through that alright. Very tricky corner there, turn 14. No context. Oh, Lexus hits the wall on the exit of 15. Very easy to do. Very treacherous corners of 19 and 20. But now is a long straight to the line. I believe it's the longest straight in the calendar. And he does a 140.8, which is not bad at all.
I think that's like 3/10 off my time trial time, that is.
Yeah.
Like you were saying about turn 3 and that bump, we saw many of the drivers in tier 3 as Object Finder is 140.1 getting caught out by that bump. Name and Shane Cruiser, whilst fighting you, had an incident there at turn 3. And then had another incident at turn 4. Sorry, Cruiser. I've just also seen Nigel in the chat saying, why is Object Fungus racing on his birthday?
I can't imagine anything better to do on my birthday than race an FPRL.
If he wins the race, though, right, we've all got to say how we've got to mention that just Cruiser's not happy with me.
Yeah. Also, it's a little bit of a meme, so I need to actually make sure it is his birthday because
Oh, what? Was it
know
not
what
a birthday
people
to
are
me
like.
yesterday? And say I was 32 yesterday.
Who was 32 yesterday?
Well, yeah, someone said it was my birthday yesterday. I was 32.
Only 32?
Just watch Lexus. I don't know if any drivers will try and take advantage of that. You know, the downhill, the corner that David claimed somebody last season at. I don't know if you
turn 50.
If you know if you turn 50, you can actually hit that wall and sometimes get away, proper conk it and get away with no damage from that wall. I don't know.
Definitely can.
I think you can get away with one hit on it, and then it will start damaging. But I've seen a lot of tier 3 drivers just conking it and coming away with no damage at all from it.
Yeah. Next guy over the line is going to be Monkey Boy. Where does Monkey go? He's only P8. A 41.7 is not really good enough for the Monkey Man. One thing I do know is that it's his birthday tomorrow. And I think his missus is treating to a nice dirty weekend out in Birmingham.
Still going along as well, from what I've heard.
It's kind of creepy when you say it like that.
Oh, no. Oh, Alfie's dropped it in...
Oh, Alfie. Oh, Alfie.
Onto turn 16.
Yeah, there he is, facing the wrong way. At least you got to see it very quickly, anyway. So, we are 10.5 minutes left in Q1 then. At the moment, just 9 drivers to set a lap. We've got a few more on hot laps. Looks like Ali Ferrari is coming through the S's towards the end of his lap now then.
Oh, Tornado's going very slowly.
Yeah, we'll see Ali Ferrari come across the line. That's only P9. That's interesting for the Mercedes man. Of course, only one driver is going to be going out this session if no one else joins, and as it is, that will be FGE Alfie, having binned it.
I know some other people are joining in late. I don't know if Brookie Min is getting in for Quarry, or he's just coming in for the race. I'll have to find out.
Yeah, Ethan's binned it as well. Yet another one then, outside. Oh, that's the wrong... Yeah, so that's another person claimed at the exit of turn 16? 8? Something like that. And there he is in the chat, just letting us know. Great. Yeah, not ideal for him. So, 2 people yet to set a lap. We've got the first of them here, and that's his Lizard King. So, at the top, Object Fungus still. Drobal's put in a decent lap at 140.3 to be just 2 tenths behind. Lizard King coming to the line. So he's going to be at mid-table. Yep, there you go. P6 for Lizard King. So let's jump around to Nocco then. He's the last guy to set a lap.
Nocco, the big surprise of the season.
I wouldn't say that. You're surprised of the season, maybe.
To be honest, I don't know much about Nocco. I know last season I don't know if it was just because of the end of the game with Monkey Boys retired in the pits. He knows he's through. To suit his driving style, and he's doing a very good job keeping up with Object Fungus. He's not being intimidated by his teammate. He's even trying to get from a fair way away.
Now, having said that, he's 7 tenths behind his teammate.
But he probably knows that he doesn't need to set a very competitive time because he's already through. Well, he just needs to make sure he doesn't bin it.
Well, you never know. He could be hiding his true pace, but we won't find out until at least the next session. We're going to have 14 for Q2 as things stand. And, well, there's not much going on, I suppose, unless Lexus is, for whatever reason, going for another lap. Nope. Henko
I'll be honest.
In the pits. Sorry, Gary.
I think, by honest now, I don't think anyone really needs to really go out, really, because they're all through.
Unless they want the practice.
Yeah, maybe the practice, but don't really push it. Because you don't want to mess. I'm actually about to die. Cool. You don't want to push it and then accidentally crash it, and then you're out the session. Then you're just going to regret it. Because I know I did the same thing in Jeddah where I was through, but I went for another lap, and then I crashed out, and then that was my end of my session. So you don't want to do that. You just want to.
In before Gary commentators curses his teammate who makes a mistake into turn 1, and yeah, he's going to have to pull out of his lap. That could very well be wing damage as well, but to be honest, he doesn't really need to do it. Well, he doesn't need to do another lap, but we should see everyone coming into the pits. If they're not going to retire, then they probably... I mean, they might as well. We might even get an early end to Q1 with 5 minutes left to go.
Well, we don't want to retire too early just in case someone joins in. If someone might be joining in late, and if you were to retire, they won't get to that.
Well, it's their fault for being late.
I don't think it was being nice as it's quite lads.
Excuse me.
It's backed out of his lap, so he's gonna probably save the battery and go for another one.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening, you'd have heard that I said that he put it in the wall at turn 1. I don't know whether or not he's got wing damage or not.
Can't really tell. I know he's got his front left. I can't see his front right.
It would be his front right.
Did he? There it is. Front end plate off. Did he hit the new jutting wall on the exit?
He did. Well, he missed his apex, yeah, and then, yeah, he managed to bin it in there.
Yeah, I can see myself maybe maybe tapping that wall tomorrow. No, I'm been having some issues at turn 3 in time trial with that bump because I like going at.
Well, you heard it here first. Gary curses collateral ads live on air. Piggle in the chat saying, David, I fucking love you. Well, thanks, Pickle. I just reminded myself I was trying not to swear this stream, but never mind.
God damn it. Bloody controller. Anyway, that turn 3 is a nasty one. If you don't know about it, please don't go all the way to the right. That bump is horrible, especially on medium traction. You just literally just. I've been losing the rear braking, under braking, and slammed into that wall.
2.5 minutes left in the session. I think, I don't even think, even if people were to come in now, I don't think they'd get a lap in. They'd have to load their setup and get down the pit lane. It'd be tight, but I think as we get towards the 2 minutes, I think we know it's not going to happen.
Getting roasted by Nigel Piggle about my lap time in time trial. What you don't realise, Nigel, is that you're a tier 1, you're a tier 2 fraud, and you're sitting in tier 2 when you should be in tier 1.
I think that's
strong.
Also,
and also, I'm not very good around this track, so tomorrow is going to be a bit of a struggle for myself. We'll see how tomorrow goes. It's not.
So for context, my P2 qualifying time would have got me, I think, 5th in this session. Wow.
Yeah, you're at time. I have no idea where you just pulled that lap out of nowhere. I was watching it live and I saw you cross the line and I was like, oh, David's got pole here, and then
my teammate, well, not my teammate, my party
friend.
Yes.
Just call your best mate decided to put an end to that.
Yeah, I think he said to me in the party,
I'm not having this.
Don't celebrate. It doesn't. I think his exact words were, "It doesn't matter," because there he comes, like 5-10 seconds after, and beats me by like just over a tenth of a quarter.
There was some very blue language from myself when I saw Fish Sticks cross the line and steal your pole.
Yeah.
We'll ignore the fact that Dark Gopher has retired before hitting that pit lane line, but as he was the only car on track, I think that's okay.
We might let him off.
Yeah, I think we might let him off.
Well, you say that, but did it just retire him because the session timer had?
Well, no, because he has to. No, because you remember what it's usually like when people pull in. It does that thing where it pulls them into the garage, parks them back in the bay before it basically goes to the black screen.
That's only if the timer's not gone down to 0, I think. Apparently the game audio keeps cutting out. The frame rate looks a little bit choppy on Streamlabs as well. Is that all right? Can you let me know, Piggle? Or anyone in the chat?
Oh, we got the green board of death.
Yeah. Big up the green board of death. The infamous green screen of Baku. So, who's going to be the first to pull the trigger in Q2 then? Well, collateral ads. Oh, I do apologise if I don't manage to mute my mic before I cough.
Oh, my game sound's gone. There he goes back. But it's not lagging, just all the audio cuts out. Seems to only when Gary coughs into the mic and it just irritates and kills us all. I'm not coughing. That's David.
Yeah, I'll try and turn my microphone down a little. I'm not too sure if I'll be able to do it so that you can actually still hear me without me talking really loudly.
Maybe wet your whistle, David. Maybe that will help your dry cough.
Yeah. Well, the rules are I can't do it without. I mean, to be honest, I've got unlimited channel points, so I could do it myself.
No, you know what? I'll do it.
Oh, mute your stream, by the way, Gary.
Why?
Because I can hear the echo. Thank you, Mister. Thank you, Mr. Suicide Boy.
My iPad's off. Sounds completely turned off, so I don't know where the echo's coming from.
Interesting. Ooh, we got a couple of drivers fighting here, and yeah, these guys want to go. Who was that? No, that was Object. Trying very hard to get past collateral ads. It looks like they're going to get a monumental toe down the start-finish straight. These guys at the front. Collateral ads is going to get some off Ali Ferrari. Of course, last week in qualifying, collateral ads being a complete, utter shit bastard by blocking off Ali on his hot lap. No, yeah, he made sure that Ali couldn't get in another lap.
Yeah, I spoke to Ads about that, and he said that he didn't realise he was on a call lap, and he didn't realise that Ali was trying to get past for a final run. He thought that he was coming into the box.
Bullshit.
I will not confirm or deny if that's true or not, because you can never know.
Oh, I've got a pretty good idea.
I think, well, at least all we know is that Ali didn't take too much offence to it, or didn't seem too aggrieved with it, because he didn't put a clip in.
Yeah, apparently not. So, first man out on the track on a hot lap is the guy who's going to look to lead this entire Q2 session, I'm sure. Object Fungus coming around turn 16 then, and here comes 17, 18, 19. I think this, not an official corner here, but down the start finish straight he comes, up to the heights of 214 miles an hour, and that's not a very good time from Object. Ali Ferrari sets a 140.9, which isn't a particularly fast time either. Revengezilla, meanwhile, goes P1. Oh, Monkey's dropped it in the castle. Oh, Monkey.
Up the McLarens. I reckon that Object Fungus might have been driving around on some used tires.
Yeah, that's very possible. Having thought about it, yeah, that was unusually slow lap from Object Fungus. Perhaps he's trying to keep some softs for the race, quite possibly.
Oh dear! Oh dear, Ads just clipped that inside wall.
Drink for me. Yeah, you don't need to redeem the drink, Gary. All you need to do is mention ads.
Oh well, I was on board with Ali, and I just watched him clonk the wall when he's taking all his front wing off. Oh, oh!
Oh, ads.
Well then.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who was that for Dark Gopher?
No, it's where Collateral Ads has binned it. He's parked right on the exit of the corner. And that is going to ruin a few people's laps.
Yeah, he's clipped the inside curb and just couldn't stop with no front wing. He just slammed into the wall.
Yeah. Rip in for Collateral Ads. F's in the chat. And I'll take my other drink. It's not really helping, Gary. Oh, Iniesta's dropped it. Looks like
he's dropped it on the start line.
Oh, he's binned it. What?
Has he binned it? Has he binned it coming into the pits?
I don't know. He's bounced across into the middle of the track, though.
Oh, that's going to cause some people that crap themselves.
Yeah.
There's Knocko on the outlap.
Yeah. Once again, one of the last to go out. In fact, the last to go out. Ali says, how do you bin it there? His wheels are all still on. Well, God knows.
Oh. He's, Benitez just put it in chat. Well, that's the pit wall. I'm shit.
He quite possibly tried to cut it too fine, straight lining towards the finish. And yeah, he's possibly hit the wall on the left.
Okay, I've just watched Knocker go through turn 3. He's right on that side curve, and there was no bounce from his car whatsoever. This is why they're winning the overall constructors.
Well, it's because they're the best drivers, Gary. So Zilla's called it a day. Doesn't want to go again. Knocko through the castle section then. And around he comes. Oh, that is... Yeah, that's a bit of front wing off Knocko's car.
So when he hit that wall, a bit of tyre flew off as well.
That could just be Collateral Ads' tyre, to be fair. I wonder if Knocko's going to complete his lap. Looks like he is.
Gonna go faster than his teammate.
Right, so who's next on track? It's Tornado doing his in lap. Object is out.
Is just, yeah, he's just starting his fine lap now.
Well, the Tier 1 champion elect. Oh, Lexus has been... Is he?
No, he's started in pits.
Oh, 5 minutes left to go. It's bold, although a lot of people would have to improve by a rather large amount.
Well, at the moment, I think everybody who just sets a decent lap faster than 140.9 is actually through.
Yeah, very true. As we see, Object getting through Sector 1, apparently purple.
don't do a Charles Leclerc there.
No. And through the castle, Object Fungus goes up around the bend into this tricky braking section. Doesn't hit the barrier.
As we see Object coming round turn 16, 17, 18, where it's going to be flat to the line. See the line he will take to the run to the line. Is he going to take it tight to the pit wall to make it the shortest run to the line?
Yeah, not quite as close as Fliniesta got, but yeah, there you go. He goes fastest at 1:39.8. Yeah, that first lap must have been on the used softs, I suspect.
Also, I've just noticed he's also maybe flicking the bean to Aoi as he goes past. I've just seen Aoi saying he's going out on a used set of tyres.
Interesting. I'm not too sure if he'll be able to improve on them. Lizard King is retired in the pits. So let's take a look at anyone on a lap. Could Drobel be on a lap? Yes, he might very well be. So through the castle section then. Nice and clean, careful on the traction on the exit, uses all the curb. Puts his foot to the floor for the next couple of corners. There's a back marker ahead of him. And that is, well, a back marker, it's Object Fungus, he's just managed to get past. So Drobel now, we know he's got some pace in him. He's coming around the last two corners and it's going to be a sprint to the line.
Will David make it to the end of the lap before he dies?
Nope. Cross the line, and that is P1 for Drobel. Great stuff for the McLaren driver.
That's why I'm glad he's in that car of us. This boy is very quick. So, going down my iPad because I can hear myself. Yeah, Object Fungus, you've got a challenger today. Nocco is out for another lap. Coming down the start line right now. See what Nocco can get close to his teammate. He's nearly a second down. He's 9/10 behind now as Bookiemin has joined the session. So let's see as he goes through turn 1 very cleanly. Turn 2 this time gets very close to the exit. On the exit. Up to turn 3, is he going to get close? Doesn't get put off by that bump. Now turn 4, this is going to be an important exit. Nailed it. Turns 5 and 6, these ones that you get close to that wall and try not to conk that curb or you're going to lose a load of time. Let's see how much he cuts this corner. Yep, it's going to bump over the gun. Cut it slightly as Aria has gone a little bit faster. Ocker's managed to negotiate the castle section very cleanly and safely. Now we're going to come up to the corner where he unfortunately hit the wall on his first run. Maybe he'll be a bit more cautious this time. Blocks the front a little bit, but manages to make the corner as a Red Bull off the track, which hopefully won't get in his way. Did not. As now it's a run to the line.
Yep.
Check flag has been called.
Yep, and here we go. Across the line. Thank you for taking that, Gary. And Knocko goes fastest.
This reminds me of the Ferraris yesterday. The on paper quicker driver of Diamond was shown up by his teammate, and it's going again. Object is getting a little bit shown up by Knocko today. So, is it the turn of the turn of the second Ferraris today? Is it Knocko's time for a win?
Yeah, I think. I think. Well, I don't know. We might see towards the start. Of course, we've got Q3 to go for. Ali Ferrari comes across the line, not improving, had invalidated.
My comms partner is sound like he's dying by the second. As there's the end of our session, we have lost. Unfortunately, Monkey Boy binning it at where Charles Leclerc binned it in real life. He will probably be saying, "I am stupid." Then it's Go for TV, who I think has binned it as well, or just called it a day. Catlad's binning it turn 14 or 15. Then Revenge Zero on his first showing in the Tier 1 gets a very respectful P11, and then Finiesta with his awkward and weird crash into the pit wall. Someone is asking for the maybe looking on the recruitment, so I need to get that. Mr. Zilla.
Right, here we are for Q3 then. Once again, big shout out to the green screen of Baku. So we'll see who's going out first. Only 9 drivers, of course, with Gliniesta twatting himself against the wall. He would have been through as P10 otherwise. So Lizard King first out on track then.
The King has gone out early, and then there's Ali Ferrari, and then I think it's Ads 2 behind him with that. He's wearing that helmet that Fish Stick should be wearing, and nobody else should be. The fish helmet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I've unlocked it.
Why hasn't put it on yet?
He might not be aware of it.
Lee Carey, get this fish helmet on. Man.
Right, so Lizard King, he's coming around the rear end of Sector 2, and onto the first hot lap of Q3. A better show from Lizard King this week, getting himself into the top 10, not putting it in a wall, which is probably the thing you want to do the least around here. No, you don't really want to do it anywhere. But towards the line, Lizard King comes to start his Q3 first hot lap. Goes pretty nicely through turn 1. Got to hit your braking zone and the apex very nicely there for turn 2. getting on the power as soon as possible is the name of the game. You can easily find yourself a couple attempts down, even with a small mistake out of one of these slow right angle corners. Coming towards the end of Sector 1 now. I've not got my telemetry up, or lap data, so I didn't see what his Sector 1 time was. Never mind. Cutting that corner very nicely, just coming into the castle section now. Pretty neat. Hits the apex on the exit. Smooth through the left-hander. And now he powers up around turns 14 and 15. And now slowing down for 16. He taps the wall very slightly. I'm not sure if he has damage or not. Doesn't look like there's anything visible, so he should be able to complete the lap. Lizard King now coming around the last couple of corners. Nicely done indeed. Didn't lose traction for a second. And DRS open now to the start finish. He comes across and does a 40.07. Bad stuff from the Lizard. Unlucky to not break the 139 barrier. We'll get into the 139s, I should say. A few more drivers coming through now. As Object Fungus sets the fastest lap of quali so far with a 139.6. That's 4 tenths faster than Lizard King has managed. Lexus 9 tenths back on Lizard, and adds not a representative lap from him. Meanwhile, Drobel in the McLaren sets a 39.8. Got to follow Henkers across the line. Can he match his teammate here? I don't think so. It's just a 141.7.
Yeah, as Tornado comes through the final run to the line right now. See what Tornado can do. Raise my voice a little bit. Here he comes, opens DOS, foot to the floor. It's a 141.0. Another non-representative time. Wow, my speech impediment really messed around there. As we're going to watch Aoi through turns 1 and 2. Coming up behind, I think that's Ads 2 in front of me. He's going to get a nasty toe. Ads 2 gets out of the way just at the last. It's not Ads 2, it's Tornado, so he gets out at the last second at turn 3. Turn 4. I'll go on board him so I can see his line. He gets up and close and personal with that wall, flicks it very nicely through turn 5 and 6. Gonna misses the apex a little bit, gets a bit of slide on the exit. Let's see how much. Very cautious through the castle section. Oh, he's lost the rear end on the exit. And now we're going to come up to probably most drivers would say the hardest corner of the track, as there is a lot of brakes. Someone smashing into that wall. That's probably from where Clatter Lads hit the wall. Drink, David. As Aoi makes his way down the, as David said, the longest straight in Formula 1. See what Aoi can do. You need a breather.
I think I've had a breather the last 10 minutes.
Well, my asthma pump, maybe that will help. I'll put some steroids in the system. Open up your lungs.
I need something in my system.
Alcohol.
Apparently it's not alcohol.
Oh!
Ooh, Ali.
Oh,
hits the wall.
he's got away with losing just an end
Sorry,
plate.
really sorry, chat. Yeah, that looked like it could have been pretty fatal for Ali Ferrari's qualifying hopes. He currently sat P4, so he does say he's slow, but he's quite obviously not that slow.
Nigel's noticing that what might be causing Ari to be losing maybe 3 attempts around this track. Nigel has said that Ari is 4 miles an hour slower than Object down the straights, so maybe Ari doesn't feel comfortable with the lower wings.
It doesn't surprise me. I was taking a look at a couple of drivers' setups earlier this week, and I did notice that Ali had, I think it might have been 12 wings. And yeah, it's going to help him through Sector 2, but it's definitely not going to help him through Sectors 1 and 3. Ethan, redeemed a drink. Why is no one redeeming a drink for CoComs? But thank you, Ethan.
I know I've been using 5.0. I've actually been, most of the season I've been on full traction, except the first race. I've decided to use that. Knocker goes marginally faster than Object. So my statement of the second Ferrari's time to shine still stands in quali.
Yeah, a whole 18 thousandths of a second there. It's mighty close.
Because we all know what happened to the second Ferrari yesterday.
Yeah. Apparently, Ali is running 4-3 wings, so...
Weird setup.
That is, interesting.
Nigel's asking, are you okay, David?
Hmm?
Does he sound
I'm perfect.
okay?
I'm perfect. Can you not tell?
You can say your thing, David. Like, I am perfectly fine. I have no bugs or glitches at all.
Yeah, I don't know what I've got. It might be a bug.
Yeah, this is why. I was gonna make a joke there, but I couldn't think of anything funny. I think Knocker's gonna go for maybe another run, or is he just gonna come in? Legitimately, look where Object Fungus is on the track. They're legitimately everyone is out on the track now on their out lap. So I think Nocco's done for the second.
Yeah.
He's not going to come in and get out again.
Well, there you go then. Got a few guys on their out laps for the last time then. And unless Nocco, well, yeah, that's it for him. Into the pits he comes. Right. He didn't bin it. He was forced into a mistake by fantastic defensive driving.
Well, I can tell you that probably I don't think he. Oh, I think I've gone off on him there a bit. Whoops. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
Me and Chris having the worst nights of our life. Last night in the football.
Well, I think it was worse. Actually, no. Cruiser's not. Cruiser's not a Liverpool fan as well, is he?
No, but he's a Rangers fan.
He is definitely a Rangers fan, and they did lose rather heavily.
And we lost very heavily, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah. And
still there, bottom of the table.
And speaking of potentially losing, let's have a look at the Man United score, shall we?
I really hope you're losing, just to make me feel better. Cheer up the whole nation, that will. Man United losing. The global is 100 faster in the first sector, gone 100 quicker on his time.
0-0 at half time.
Oh no, it's nil.
Thank you, Luez, for your kind best wishes. Thank you very much.
Okay, so objects 3 temps up.
3 temps up. What a fraud. What a phony. Across the line, he's going to come. Surely goes quicker, but how much quicker? There you go. Nearly 5 temps.
Dribbles backed out.
Yeah.
Lexus is next. Lexus is a second up on his lap time. There he goes, P2 with 1 second on 5.
Yeah, good lap there from Tornado.
That's 2.
Lexus now on the DRS Open down the. That's a good lap from him. It is a second faster and it's P6 only. Immediately.
Hey, Lizard King. P2.
P2.
Only a 10th away.
Great stuff. Well, that's going to be it then.
Knocker's going to be kicking himself. He left that second run so late and didn't give him a chance to get in the box.
Yeah.
Go for another one.
Well, that is all she wrote. There you go.
I'm taking any screenshots of any qualifying results, so
fantastic. So there you have it then, your top 10 for the race. Object Fungus once again getting on pole position. On the front row with him this week is Lizard King, who's he's putting a fantastic lap there, just over 1/10 behind. And in P3 another great lap from Tornado, who's not too far behind himself. He's 0.368, and Nocco is on row 2, rounding that off. So Ferrari once again doing very well, getting a P1 and a P4 as opposed to last night's P2, P4.
But will we see Object run away like it has for the rest of the season, or will someone challenge him?
Yeah, not quite sure if anyone's got it in them. This is why I say he could very well be the Tier 1 champion-elect.
Looking at everyone's tyres, Venezuela, Clatwad and IXR Ethan are all, those 3 are on the hards, everyone else is on the mediums. I know my chum Cruiser will say starting on the medium is, on the hards, is suicide. Someone's readied up early.
Yeah, that was very nice of them.
Yeah.
Get me out of my misery that bit sooner.
As it is now, if David makes it to the end, everyone will have to send David a drink on Saturday on the Wetherspoons app.
Ugh. Right. Well, here we go then. So we've got 17 in for the race then. So, starting from P17 is Bricky Min. In the Mercedes in front of him is FGE Alfie, who is AI. front of him is IXR Ethan. P14 is Monkey Boy Kurt, hoping for a good result on his birthday eve. P13 is Dark Gopher TV. In front of him, P12, the other Alpine of Collateral Ads. P11 on his Season 4 Tier 1 debut is Revengezilla. So it's been a good qualifying from that man. In P10, Fliniesta in the Aston Martin. Henkers is in P9. Lexus is in P8 in the Red Bull. Drobel, the solo McLaren here tonight, is only in P7. I'm sure that'll be a little bit disappointing for the guy. P6, a current Tier 1 champion, Ali Ferrari, is struggling a little bit as he goes straight on and into the wall. Fantastic. Nice little reset to track there as well. Let's hope he doesn't do that lap one. P5 is Ads 2 in the first of the Alpha Tauris. P4 is the first Ferrari of Noko he got. P3 is the other Alpha Tauri of Tornado, and yeah, both Alpha Tauris qualified very well tonight. In P2 we've got Lizard King, and rounding off the grid, P1 is Object Fungus. See Piggle in the chat cheering on the Aston Martin.
Well, I'm sick watching now Ferrari do his weaving.
Did FGE Alfie get an invite back to the session?
Okay, right.
I know.
I'm just going to call him out.
I know.
Yeah,
you don't need to. Right.
I'm not going to invite him back.
Okay, well, here we are. The lights are going out. And away they go. The lights seem to stay on forever. And Object's got a good start. He's got the Alpha Tauri right behind him. He might have made contact with the wall there. As a lizard. There's been a little bit of trouble into turn 2 for a few drivers.
That might have all been down to Drobble making a late lunge.
Yeah, as we see these cars in the midfield really bunched up. They're going side by side. Bricky making up another position maybe. He's in P12 at the moment, so he's doing pretty well all things considered. Noko, however, has missed out. What's gone on there?
Ethan's just got the worst exit I've ever seen. Brookie was going past, he got a tank slapper and slightly tapped the back of Brookie, and he's gone into almost all his front wing.
And apparently that's enough to bring out the virtual safety car. Now, considering all the chaos that happened last week at Monaco, we didn't get a safety car at all. Sorry.
Yeah, none of the tiers got a safety car. Oh my word, Tornado's just clumped at the final corner. Has got away with 2 bits of no damage. Underway again. Any action going on behind. Looks like Monkey's looking for a move on Brookie Min. Oh, no, not Brookie Min, sorry. On Finiesta, sorry. My apologies. They've got a better exit. On. He's going to go for a move. No, he thinks better of it. this is Object Fungus at the moment seems to not be able to shake off Lizard King. I think 6/10 ahead of him. Monkey and Finiesta's. Monkey's gone up the inside. They're going to go side by side. Finiesta has conceded position into the castle section. There's no going through there side by side. So we've already got one DNF of Ethan. Calling it very early.
Woo, Nelly!
Trying to burn his battery to get out of the DRS. 62% compared to Lizard King's 35 and falling. Lizard King is trying to hold on to this DRS as DRS is now enabled. You back, David?
Yep, thereabouts. So, we are lap 3. DRS is, of course, now enabled. Object not quite able to get as far away as he would have liked. Lizard King very close to the inside wall of turn 3 there. Lizard definitely looks like he's maybe got higher wings. It looks like he's doing pretty well around this mid sector. And I just see that Ashdown's giving you a Cocon's drink, Gary.
Oh, well. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, how far he's binned it in the castle section, and it's caused absolute mayhem. And that's not a safety car. There's no way that's not a safety car, and it's just a virtual. As Zilla has boxed from hard.
Yeah, well, that's going to be an interesting one coming in the egg.
Maybe Zilla's boxed under the first virtual safety car. I'm going to get our special guest in. There it is. We're gonna bring in Cruiser to give David's voice a rest. So, as we can see, Jet Fungus is still in the lead of the race. Some people have boxed. I've seen Lizard King boxed under the safety car and has put on a set of hards. It's just been overtaken by Knocker as the flag in sector 3. The slow moving vehicle of Revenge Zilla. Revenge Zilla is out. He's retired in the pits.
I apologise. I was to try to join up the game real quick, see if I can get a live broadcast. But obviously, hope David you do get better real quick and real soon. Just throwing out that.
Send you an invite. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to join up the game real quick.
Got a little bit of a trainers Clatter lads and the Monkey Boy Kurt, the both Alpine boys had a fairly decent start. One's on hard and the other's on medium, so split strategy from the two. They're looking good in third and fourth. Rookie up to P5. There's been an incident with Finiesta on the exit of the castle sections. Can't we tell if he's got no front wing? He has slight. Yep, he has no front right end plate damage, so you should see him into the box. I'm going to do my best to commentate this as best I can. As it's okay, right. As Object Fungus is now starting to waltz away with this. Tornado is looking very, very comfortable in P2 on those mediums. But lads is starting to gain on him, maybe with the lower wings. But we'll see if that battle will come close in the next couple of laps. As we see, my co-coms has arrived.
Hey.
I should stop taking the mick out of him now he's here. We'll move on to that as I see Lizard King all over the back of Nocco, who had that first lap demolition job from Drobel. Nocco might be having some sort of side pod damage with the impact he had from the McLaren, unfortunately. So we've got a yellow flag as Iniesta has made a mistake in turn 2 and has gone down the write-off area. And he's not having the best day. Is now really gained. Oh, this Tornado's all front wing. He's hit turn 15, has lost everything. So this should be the easiest move that Clatter will ever make on somebody. He's gonna have to be careful because Tornado's gonna have to really brake, let off the gas to get through those corners. Made it through clean. There's someone else has gone. The Lizard King has gone for a spin. Oh no, he was net P2 as Tornado's got 5 seconds for speeding into pits. Now it's a 2-3 for the Alpines. Anything else to note on, Cruiser?
Yeah, we've got Nocco and Brookieman fighting over P4 right now. Onto the back straight now, heading down towards turn 3. Brookieman right behind the Ferrari, alongside the Ferrari, and now ahead of the Ferrari. As Lizard King has retired in the pits. Brookieman, he does hit that bump though on the outside around turn 3, but he does keep the car in check, and the Scotsman's up into P4.
Yeah, it was a great move from Brookie, especially starting from the back of the field, not being here for qualifying. He's done a great job to keep out the carnage, as he always does, so he can keep pushing. Now he's going to be looking onto the back of that Alpine of Monkey Boy Kurt in front of him, as Karawatt is now 12 seconds behind his Object Fungus. As there's a slow moving car of Henkers in sector 1, so I don't know if... Oh, sorry, it's not Henkers, it's Lizard King's car deciding to go down to turn 3 for some reason. So, see when do you think... Oh, that Drobel's gone into the wall just before the castle section. Absolute nightmare for the McLaren tonight, the sole McLaren.
Yeah, he's lost his front wing as well, so that's going to have to be another pit stop for Drobel.
It's round 2 between Brookie and Nocco. Nocco's gone past. I imagine Brookie will re-challenge it up to turn 3. As Nocco, they both have the same percentage of battery. Let's see what Brookie does. Look, Nocco's just pulling away at this point. I think Nocco got the better traction. Brookie's hit that bump again, and he had to really let off the gas, make sure he didn't hit the wall. Got the ghost car of FG Alfie now hurrying and harassing Dark Ghost, but he won't need to worry about that because that car will be disqualified. Tornado's now coming onto the back of Lexus. Russell comes in to probably repair that front wing of his. So, Cruiser, while there's a break in the action, is there, what would you say the strategies around here? What time would you think the medium runners will have to box, and do you think they can go, what lap they put on, do you think they can go to the end on those hards?
I'm not too sure really about what the strategy is, because as you brought up before the formation lap, I did start on the hard tyres along with Locker, I think, in the tier 3 race, and we were the only two who'd done that. And it wasn't really helped that because of the safety car on lap 7, that all the medium runners had to pit and they went straight to the end. So I'm thinking around maybe lap 10 to around lap 13. That's when the medium runners will consider making their pit stop.
Yeah, maybe if there is a very late safety car, maybe chucking on the set of softs. As Joel has made another mistake.
Okay, so it's for me.
Not gone well for McLaren. We could see that McLaren coming in and retiring in the box. Not what me and Cruiser want to see, as we're both McLaren drivers. I know Drobel will not want this to be his first race in the McLaren full-time seat to end, but either he's got major wing damage or rear wing damage or side pod damage starting to settle the balance of that car. He's gonna have a very, very difficult rest of the day as he comes into the box. Object fungus. Verbal yet. Driver's gonna retire. I assume. Knocker we got is now right on the back of Monkey Boy Kurt. Has Monkey got anything to defend against that prancing horse?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was a mistake from Monkey Boy or not, but it did seem that Nocco caught up to him very, very quickly as Tornado's binned it.
Out.
Oh,
safety
car.
Oh, Drobel is going to be absolutely livid with that. He just retired, he could have easily caught her back at the field. Oh, that's why you never retire in league racing, because you never know, a safety car can bring you back into the race.
Oh, hold on.
Dark Gopher's going to take a massive advantage from this pit lap, as he's come out on a set of softs. That's very, very ambitious to think that he can do 17 laps in those set of softs.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one there for Dofer.
He may have just come in, knee-jerk reaction to come in, and didn't really think about setting the tyres. I think we've all done it. We've not thought about. I wonder what Object Fungus is going to do. Well, I can tell you what the Alpine is going to do behind him. The Alpine's not going to box. It's going to be too early to go to the end on mediums. But Object could easily make it on those hards. So let's see what Object does. Is Object going to sacrifice track position for his strategy? And it looks like he is. Ball cat lads. I think he's getting messed around with Delta a bit there. Oh no, he comes in. Oh, Monkey's coming. It's going to be a double stack at Alpine.
Brookhaven's in the pits as well.
All coming in. Knocko's in. Knocko's lads on the mediums. Knocko on the set hard. Monkey's coming on the set hards, and it's the perfect timing from the Alpine. Monkey comes right up as they're getting that ready for him, so that was no time lost from him.
No, I think Brookhaven has jumped Kurt in the pit stops.
I think Brooke got past Monkey already before the safety car came out. If he's really going to have to really slow down a little bit if he wants those soft tyres to have any chance, slim chance of making it to the end. We see Object's now going to try and he's probably very glad that there's at least a safety car to let him warm up those tyres, but also not because it's going to ruin his massive lead he had. He'll have a couple of quick drivers on behind him with quicker tyres of Catalans and brook him in, pushing him. So now it's time to see Object Fungus actually have to defend his position in one of these races. As David is here, Cruiser, you know what time it is.
I think we do, unfortunately.
Yeah. As we all
Nah.
know, this is David's baby of the week.
I think really the main sponsor this week will be just a load of alcohol.
Oh,
So-
okay, well, our sponsor this week is brought by David Alvarez. It's just Cowpole and rest. Let's all put like get well soon, David, in the chat.
So this is your
Was-
kind reminder that FPRL is brought to you this week by our sponsor,
Cowpole.
Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh my God!
Rest in peace, Queen. There you go. That's all that needs to be said. We're not celebrating tonight. We're not. Yeah, it's not a celebration tonight.
So while we got a bit of a break,
Having said that, I have just got another drink. Now, I'm sure you lot respect this, but it's Jack Daniel's Honey and Coke, just to help soothe the throat.
Oh yeah, I was about to say honey or lemon, really hot honey and lemon. Really does help. As I've just seen on the other side of track as they're going along, a lonely Aston Martin who's like 56 seconds behind, trying to catch up. I do not think he's going to make it in time. On another subject, assuming you two have seen the special livery that's going to be coming to the Ferrari on Tuesday, plus the addition of China to the game.
Hey.
On the forums, it says that the livery will be mostly the same, except that little bit on the duct on the back on the engine cover will be a flash of yellow. The race suits will be yellow from the drivers, and I think the pit crew will be yellow. So yeah, it's going to be quite nice to see another special one-off livery in a Formula 1 game. I know we had the white Red Bull, which I think should have just stayed in the game permanently and allowed you to choose which one you wanted to run. I know they eventually gave it out for everybody's player car, but it's not really the same.
Yeah, 2 out of 10. Needs more yellow. That's what I have to say about that.
I just don't understand why they just didn't paint the whole car yellow and just have maybe red pinstripes or something.
I mean, if you look at the badge, you can't really see a Ferrari badge. You can. There's one just on the side of the nose, just behind the front wheel.
Yeah, you should.
It's
It should
the
go.
prancing horse.
It should go more, maybe a yellow and black scheme, just match the badge. That would have been really nice to have.
I think maybe on another occasion, but not around Monza. I think it's more fitting to have a red Ferrari around Monza.
Yeah, but what we think about China being added to the game. I know a lot of people in the league were saying that they were hoping it was going to be Hockenheim or Istanbul. I know Istanbul is a track that everyone wants, really desperate to have in this game. I'm certainly am. I love driving it in 2010, Formula 1 F 2010. That was probably one of my favourite tracks of all time.
You see what happens if we're like Hockenheim, Istanbul, trying to get another one. Like Magello as well. I think a few people have called up Magello, but I'm not too sure.
I can hope, Nigel. I can hope. I'm not crying. I just want. Yeah, I just want my favourite track in the game. I know everyone wants. I've heard Finiesta's retired.
Oh, and he just caught up to the cheer as well.
He just dropped it. Oh well. That's so sad.
Oh dear.
I told you it was possible. Tricky corner, tricky corner. That one.
Only the real ones bottle at turn 4.
Only once. I'll remember that when I eventually put it in the wall there tomorrow.
That's not an invitation.
Not, as we see, Object Fungus. Lads is doing the Max Verstappen thing, getting as close as he possibly can. As Object Fungus has now gone, and it's like Brookie Min has been caught out. Monkey Boy up the inside, he's gained 2 positions. He has to concede. I don't understand why. It was already green flags. That's a bit off game. Screw you, EA. Oh, that's just going on the attack straight away. It's slightly cut the rear of Object Fungus. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, for God's sake. David, stop it. As we see, you can't.
Anyway,
as we see, Object Fungus is probably hoping his teammate of Nocco can maybe try and help him. Where's Nocco? Where's David when you need him? David is the perfect rear gunner in the Ferrari team. As it's like clonk the wall. Is he going to be able to get back onto it? Was that Catalad's only chance at Object Fungus? I can't stop looking at the photo. Get it out of my screen. As Brookie is now all over the back of Nocco, so Brookie's may have a podium out of nowhere here. As I've just noticed, there's only 10 drivers left in the race, so everyone's going to score points. Brookie's now pushing Nocco through the final sets of corners. There's no DRS, so this is all going to be down to straight line speed. Not going to do the Raikkonen thing. As Brookie outbrakes him and squeezes him, as Brookie goes, he's held onto it. Nocco's going to go for the dive back. Oh, that's close. Jesus Christ.
But look who's arrived in the scene now. Kurt is now right behind Nocco.
Oh,
he's hit the bump though. He's hit the wall, but he does maintain P5. But Brookieman's up to 3rd, and I think, Ads just went on and he's broke his front wing.
Has he reset the track there?
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah, this is. Oh, Ads, that was a bit. I watched Collateral Ads maybe cut that corner a bit more than he should have. I will call him out on it. I don't want to curse him. Needs to calm it down and get back onto focus.
Leaving nothing to chances, the Alpine.
As I know what he's like usually. Foot to the floor.
It's about now he usually gets a penalty in it.
Wow.
As Jeremy Clarkson would say, power!
I can't do that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen in your state, David. As Ads is just outside the DRS zone, so he's not going to get DRS this lap. I think Object may have survived the worst. Let's have a look. Rectus is now over coming up to the rear of Monkey, but he has got 6 lap older tyres than Monkey. So, as Lexus has a look from the way back, but decides better of it. Not really much to go off at the moment. I think this is the only battle that's somewhat close. As I've just heard Ads 2 has retired in the pits, so there's only 9 runners. There will only be 8 finishers because of that. Alfie Will's car will not be classified, so nor his car. Object Fungus is unstoppable at the moment. Would you agree, Cruiser?
Certainly got a very strong grip on this Tier 1 division and its championship so far, as Ads has left the session, but Collateral Lads, he's definitely given a run for his money so far, and if he can just get a good exit out of turn 16, he might stay within the DRS range, but his battery usage, he's down below 10%, whereas Object Fungus is still on around 40%, so he does have that to his advantage to defend against the Alpine.
Yeah, I think Ads has had to burn his battery to get back into the DRS. I also noticed that Object Fungus may have slightly tapped all turn 15. He's got away with no damage, but did lose some time, as I see his friend lose. Because Object Fungus dominance is boring fans. Even on harder tyres, he's quicker than everyone else. Yeah. He's back out of DRS again, so I don't know if Ad might concede this battle and try and save it for third or second. I mean, sorry, but we'll see. I've just been whispered by our resident tyre expert, David Orfe. He reckons that the mediums might not last to the end. So still 10 laps to go, which means Ads and Brookie's tyres will be on 16 laps. So those are going to be absolutely shot. So those lap times will start dropping. So Ads had to make the move, get past Object early as quick as possible. Yeah, I think Object might have this in the bag if he can keep it this gap like this. I wonder if we'll see anybody maybe near the back like go for Henkers or Lex. Just maybe box in a couple laps in the end and maybe try and go for the fastest lap. Do you think that might be a thing, Cruiser?
Well, every point does count across every tier and division, as Rofer's now right behind Henkins with the DRS. Down towards turn 1, he's gaining on the Alfa Romeo, but he's just not going to be close enough to late. Well, he did brake late into turn 1, but he's still within range of the Alfa Romeo, but I think that's ruined his chance of a potential overtake in towards turn 3. But like I was saying, whether it's 1 point or no points, they all make a difference in the end towards your final standings.
Yeah, I know personally myself, I know 5th in the championship, 5th and 6th in the tier 2 championship, separated by 1 point, so yeah, every point does matter. Ads really is taking the streams with that corner there. I was going to say piss, but we'll go with biscuit instead. He hasn't got a penalty yet, so the 4 things in life hasn't happened yet. 3 of them have, because I've said his name.
Yeah, it's also worth saying that P6 and P7 at the moment, Lexus and Henkers, so they're both on 13 and 15 lap old hard tyres respectively. I suspect that they will also have to pit before the end. Hopefully for their sake they'll be able to eke out until maybe lap 25, lap 20 maybe, and then they'll probably be better off just coming in for a pair of softs and trying to take that fastest lap.
Yeah, but I just noticed Nocco is now starting to turn up the pace. I don't know if Brookie has made a mistake, but Nocco is now back on the back of him, so those hards are probably at this stage of the race, those ones who hit under the safety car, are now probably the fastest race tire to be on. We'll see if Brookie can defend his position. I know he's probably going to be running a low wing setup, so it might be hard, but with Nocco's DRS advantage, it might be inevitable that Nocco gets past. Oh, Nocco has made a mistake, as I've just been made aware. Like having it's like having Ted Kravitz quickly getting on the radio to me. Oh, he's... God damn it. Would you say that's a...
Oh dear.
Would you... Would you say that's a curse? Oh dear, I've just seen Henker's... His tyres are done. And I think Lex's is... I just watched Henker's try and go through turns 12 and 13, the little kinks, and he's had to let off because they're so squirrely under traction. Look, you can see him, he's letting off. They're done. Keep your opinions to yourself, Garrett. No, Nigel, it's my job. Nocco's regained the position.
Here's an opinion, Piggle. Fuck off.
Shut up. Or sod off.
I have no comment on that.
No, you're on the comp team on tier 1. You can say all you want to Nigel.
All I'm going to say is that both of your points will stand. I'm not making any further points of my own.
Good opinion, David. You lost the viewer. Luke. That's a bit rude. Monkey is now dropped off complete. He loves this league too much. Spends way too much time in this league. Especially when he's on holiday. He spends more time in the members' lounge than actually being on holiday. I don't really want to say it, but I really hope this man here that I'm spectating right now is going to get a good result after crashing out in qualifying early. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to curse him, and no one will know who I'm spectating there. Yeah. There's now Dark Ghost is now on the back of Henker's. So Henker's is rear. Oh my word! Henker's rear end is like slippery as anything. Will we see him box? No. Oh, yeah, I think he'll come in the next lap. Glad everyone's gonna beat that AI.
Still gonna fight back though, get his red belt.
Oh. Oh, what move? As Nocco's gonna... I know he can. I know he can. As you can see, Nocco now starting to rectify for his mistakes. Don't know if... Wonder if Monkey will start gaining on the back of Brookie. No penalties so far. That's quite an achievement. I know it's quite hard to get penalties around here.
That's usually how it works. Oh, collateral lads, careful.
Now you've just gone and jinxed it, David. Yeah, I think Catalan's tyres are starting, because I can hear him letting off the throttle through turns 17 and 18. So I'll go on board with Henkers and see if Henkers will come into the box. As meanwhile, Death Wheeze is heard in my ears.
No, he's staying out again.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. It'll be some achievement as there's a fire on my TV. Go away. Get out the way. Buzz off.
Clever. Gopher now look to try and return the favour to Henkes, like Henkes done to him on the prior lap, but he's just a bit too far back from the Alfa Romeo. A little bit late on the brakes as well from the pair of them, but they emerge unscathed around turn 3. But I think Gopher's getting a little bit frustrated now at the sight of that Alfa Romeo. 19 lap old hard tyres for Henkes, 10 lap old mediums for Gopher.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I think Object might have this. I think race is done. I think Object has got this. As long as he doesn't put it in the wall, please don't put it in the wall.
As long as Cryptic doesn't wipe him out, he should be okay.
Still can't believe that Lexus and Henkers are still not near. Those tyres. Oh. As we saw with David yesterday on his set of hards he had, his tyres let go on the last lap, but he did one laps on the hards before they decided there was no more. So it's Bookie's in the box.
He went for softs.
I reckon that Clatterlads is not going to come in. He's going to risk it. As we saw yesterday, who was the driver that got a? Do you remember which driver got a punch yesterday on their set of softs?
Yeah, I think it was Mondo. Yeah, he's 11 lap softs and he got a puncture. I think on lap 21.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for him because it was actually he was doing quite well. He was near I think it was like the top 4 when his tyre went popped. I wonder if that can maybe save the tyres. He's got an 8-second gap to his teammate, so he doesn't really need to push. But now Monkey's going to need to start put his foot down because he's got an angry Red Bull and Ferrari coming up behind him. So could we see a last minute change for the last podium position? With 4 laps to go. As Brookie Min has just gone round the outside, coming into the last part of the track, going around the outside of Dark Gopher, as he looks like he's going to easily breeze past Anchors.
Not really, but with the DRS.
Oh, here comes Dark Gopher around the outside. They're still fighting. Anchors defends the position again. He's going to have DRS. They're both going to have DRS, but yeah, there it is. Dark Gopher's tyres are just so much in position. No, I've got Dave's tickle cough.
You see the difference though in grip for Brookieman, although he is on new softs, it's just no contest. He's already nearly 3 seconds clear of Gopher and Henkes in the first sector alone. So I wonder if he can keep up this pace, could he catch up to the group of Nocco, Lexus and Kurt fighting over that 3rd place spot, as Kurt is a bit squirrely around the exit of the castle section.
As I was speaking to Monkey, he was very confident around this track, saying that this was one of his most confident tracks to date, that he felt confident with the setup, and at the moment he's proving it. Please don't crash it now. As we see Henker's now really dropped off the back of Gopher. So glad they fixed that wall back there at turn 18. No more with that protruding barrier that would kill you. If Rookie goes with the faster lap, 1:42.3, obviously just maybe trying to get points. Monkey Boy is starting to gain on ads a little bit, only just a little bit. And Monkey's still holding the gap to Lexus, but Lexus's tyres, as David rightly said in my ear, are 20 lap old compared to Monkey's and Knocko's 14. And then there's Brookie, who's rapidly gaining up on the back of him. Yorkie's put in the chat, Ad's tyre's gonna go pop. That's down on you, my friend. That's down on you. David, if Ad's tyres go pop in the last lap, I want you to put Yorkie the armour on full screen while we do the interview, as we do the interviews. And you got to zoom in as close as you can to his face, so we can all see his face. Oh, can't you? Oh, well. I ain't the one trying to push Needle to 16 laps. Well, Yorkie, there's a difference between you and Clatter Lads. He's better than you. Ooh. Yeah, Yorkie's having a binder this season. He'll be back up to tier 1. Oh no,
Henkers!
The tyres are finally gone for him. They finally let go. They did not want to make it. Hank, just keep going, mate. You can get points. Oh, he's got a puncher.
Yeah, right rear puncture for Henkers.
It's his rear
Right
left.
rear puncture.
Yeah, right rear punch. Rear left. It looks like his rear right. His rear tyre's bouncing for me. Maybe that's why he's spun. The tyre's just gone.
Oh yeah, there's no markings.
I'm trying to see if we can set. Is there a way we can check? Nigel wants to see Object Fungus's lap times he's setting. Don't know if there's actually a way of seeing that, but
I'll have a check out his lap times.
oh, I've just clicked on it.
I'll take that chance.
Yeah, well, he's. Object Fungus is going to make his way onto the final lap of the race for himself. 9.1 seconds as Monkey Boy is now 4.3. Could we see Monkey snatch the second place from his teammate? Oh, there'll be scenes in the Alpine garages. I don't know, but he's actually lost 2 seconds in the last lap. If Ads makes a mistake or he gets a punch on this final lap, Monkey can get him.
Keep an eye out on Lexus and Knocko though.
Yeah, Lexus and Knocko. Knocko goes up the inside. Monkey's probably... Monkey's now 4 seconds. I think Ads will just survive. There's more. Yeah, we've already seen what happened. Oh, he's taking the absolute living biscuit out of that corner. Oh, it's causing me to have a heart attack. looking behind Lexus and Nocco, and then Brookie's now all over the back of Lexus. Is he going to get the traction? Is he going to make a move into this turn 15? He's going for it. We'll go on board with it. He is. Wow, that's a move. That's a move. I'm quickly going to go on board. David, go quickly on board with Object Fungus as he crosses the line. He's going to take another dominant win. Oh, he's going to absolutely take the mick with it.
Oh, wow.
He is taking the piss. Object Fungus, you naughty, naughty man. Monkey got to 1.6 seconds, so maybe as his tyre did go at the end. Monkey, so what? 2-3 for the Alpine boys. Nocco, P4, great recovery. Brookie Min crashes after the finish line, but finishes P5. Lexus P6. Dark Gopher P7. We'll be happy with that. Bum on the Alfie. Henker's are way back. Try to go. What is the fastest lap? 10 minute detail.
I think fastest laps are 42.5.
42.30 from Brookie Min. Now everyone's got. Oh, he's got really close to that wall. As we look to the left, top right, I mean, and see Henker's coming down. Keep an eye on that delta at the top.
Oh, is he gonna do it?
It's gonna be close. Oh,
no, he
just
missed it.
Just missed it by 2/10. Also, I've just seen Yorkie say disqualify Object Cruiser if you can take the directory things.
Yeah,
you know the yes, please. Sorry.
Wow.
You as a tier 1 race is finally done. As you see, Object Fungus taking the win, led every single lap of the race, didn't seem very challenged. We then have Collateral Ads in a great recovery. From P12 on the grid for P2. Monkey Boy Kurt from 14th to 3rd. Nocco, he had that unfortunate spin and then recovered back to 4th. P5 is Brookie Min, not even being here in qualifying, so he'll be happy with the P5. P6 is Lexus. P7 is Dark Gopher. P8 is Henkers. And then unfortunately we lost Ad 2, Finiesta, Tornado, Drobel, Lizard King, Reventa, Ali Ferrari, and Alexar Ethan. That runs down our finishing positions as I will write our top 3 as we're waiting for them. David, do you think are you going to be able to do some questions, David, or is your voice not going to be able to survive?
Nope.
Okay, right. So me and Cruz will do this. Got one guy of Object Fungus in.
Yeah, shocker.
Kind of getting sick and tired of talking to him. Sorry, Object. No offense.
Oh, that's what. Do you want to take third first, and I'll take P2?
Yeah. I was about to say we'll do Object together, but that sounds really bad. We'll rephrase that.
Whoa.
I am not rephrasing what Davis just said in my ear.
Oh dear.
Jesus Christ, David. Just waiting for one more, maybe Ads is too camera shy. Just quickly, I saw Yorkie saying that we got a disqualified Object for showboating. That's not on. Can't do that. Right. So, at the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, I'm here with our 3rd place driver in the Alpine of Monkey Boy Kurt. So, Monkey, how was that race for you on your end?
well, considering how bad qualifying went, the race was very good. No mistakes, obviously. Otherwise, that would have put me right down the back. But after quali, I was very disappointed because I knew that this track's probably been in practice anyway my strongest of the season. So I really wanted to do well tonight. And good race all round. Just kept it on the track. Didn't really push it too hard because I didn't want to hit the walls or anything or do anything stupid, but it's paid off in the end and come away with a podium. So great result for me.
Yeah, great result for both the Alpines, but you've been doing that, both of you recently. I think this is your first podium of the season, am I correct, Monkey?
Yeah, first podium of the season.
Was there any team orders between you and Collateral Ads on those last couple of laps? If Ads tyres decided to let go completely, would he let you through, or would you just be comfortable just to sit behind him and just take the 2-3 and not risk an accident?
I mean, we didn't even really discuss that, to be honest. I mean, he was 8 seconds ahead of me before the gap started coming back the other way. I think if they really went off and it was so slow that it was backing me back up into Nocco and Brookie and Lexus, then I probably would have said, let me pass, I wasn't going to lose my podium. But it didn't come to that. I know Ads' tyres were extremely short at the end, around 75% I think, so he was very lucky to get over the line with them not blowing and getting a puncture. But no team orders, but I think if it had come to it, I think potentially would have had to get out of the way.
On my final question for you, as we go to Canada next, Montreal. Is Montreal a good track for you? Are you looking forward to it? Dreading it?
It's not a good one. It's not a bad one. It's all right for me. To be perfectly honest, I think this game you can sort of ride the curbs a bit more. So I think that will be good for Montreal, especially in the last the World Champions, the chicane there. So I think that'll be good. But I don't know. I haven't actually driven at all on Canada on this game, so I'll have to get a bit of practice in and see how I do. But I'll be hoping for definitely points again.
Yeah. And I'll say again, great recovery from P15 to get a podium. Our third place man, Monkey Booker, and I'm now going to pass it over to Cruiser to talk about the second place man, if it's not here. Cruiser?
And I pass back over to Gary to interview first place Object Fungus.
Okay, well, we won't talk about ads. I'll quickly run it. P14 on the grid, made it way up, kept himself carnage, and managed to eat those tyres mediums to the end without them exploding. And it's a great P2. I think that's his podium of the season, I think. So he's starting to get a bit of runner form. And now I'm going to go on to our race winner once again. I'm getting fed up with saying it, is Object Fungus. Object Fungus, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Hello.
So Object, was it as easy again as you made out, or were you a bit worried that Lizard King might make it a little bit tricky for you?
Yeah, on the first one, definitely. Especially with his quite aggressive strategy, and he had a very good pace. But then it's a spin, which was unlucky for him, but good for me. So they put a bit of pressure off my back. So then I could drive a bit more freely, a bit more easily, save my ears, my tires. Especially my tires, because my tire management was awful this race. So no, it wasn't that easy.
After that, the one safety car that was in the race, you were put under very heavy pressure from the restart from that lad. Were you worried that he was going to maybe get past you at any point on that restart, or were you just maybe content just let him maybe by, and then get him later on in the race when his tyres were gone?
Oh, well, I knew that he was on the mediums, and I know how much faster games are on the first couple of laps compared to the Haas. The Haas were really awful. But I wanted to keep him out of my DRS though. I knew that he could push a lot, but I didn't want him to risk anything, because I don't want to say anything to the virtual racing. But I just wanted to keep him out of my DRS. That was my my only thing. If he would have been fast enough to go past, it would have been fine, because the tires must have been better in the end. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pass the last question to you, Cruiser. You get to ask him the last question. The stream.
Just first off, I'd like to echo your point, and the result for Chart, well done, man. P3, and I think as you said, first podium of the Tier 1 campaign, so nice work on that. And Object, I'm just going to echo Gary's question regarding next race around Canada. It'd be rude to say, are you confident to going into the next race? Because with the momentum you're on, it's certainly full force with you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward for it. Quite like the track.
There you go, short and sweet, and now pass back over to Gary to round out tonight's broadcast.
I've got a very quick question for Object.
Oh.
Is it actually your birthday?
It is.
Hey, happy birthday!
There we go.
Thank you.
Well, that's
Now
one way
back over
to
to Gary.
sugarcoat your birthday, get a win in FPRL.
Exactly.
But it's not like it's his first anymore. We waited 2 seasons to get his first, and now he wins 7 out of the first 8 races. Can you stop winning, please? Let other people have a chance. I'm gonna, as I was start of CoComs, I will just mention my driver of the day quickly. I am going to give driver of the day to Brookie Min.
Shocking decision.
Every time. Brookie had a great race. Kept himself out of trouble very early on, got up the positions and made a late stop for those softs. Unfortunately, didn't have enough laps to maybe utilise them a little bit more. If he had a few more laps, he may have even maybe snatched the podium from Monkey Boy. But other than that, I think Brookie Min is our worthy driver of the day today. Just want to find it out, David, if your voice can cope with it.
Cheers, bye.
Oh.
Bye.
Okay, well,
Right.
it's David's.
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week. I want to thank both my co-commentators. Well, I say both. I want to thank the commentary team for stepping in. Obviously, Gary for stepping up to main comms, and Cruiser for jumping in out of nowhere. Like a legend. Well done to the podium sitters. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the Tier 2 race. I'm supposed to be commentating that, but we'll see. In the meantime,
Isn't Cruiser's supposed to be on tomorrow night, isn't he?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Either way, that's all we've got time for. So it's goodbye from me, David Lowface, and my co-commentators.
Silverside boy.
And Cruiser 1872. Thank you all for watching from all of us here at FPRL. Good night.
Good night.